All right, let's just get right into it. Get this. A whopping 83% of your clients say they would happily use you again. But in the real world, only 12% actually do. Now that huge gap, it's not because they didn't like you. It's because after closing, you disappeared. So today, we're going to break down how to turn every single one of those happy clients into a real, powerful lead-generating engine for your business.
It really all starts with this massive, and let's be honest, very expensive disconnect that happens in real estate. We call it the 83-12 problem. And you know what? It's probably costing you deals every single year, and you might not even realize it.
So when you ask them, a huge 83% of clients say, yeah, I was happy with my agent. I would absolutely use them again for my next move. And that's fantastic, right? That's a great approval rating. It's proof that you're doing amazing work out there.
But here's the reality check. A few years down the road, only 12% of those exact same clients actually come back to you. So 83% want to, but only 12% follow through. That gap is it's enormous.
So what is going on there? What happens in that empty space between their good intentions and, well, their actual actions? How does that huge number of happy clients just shrink down to almost nothing?
And here is the absolute key to all of this. It's not a reflection of your service. It's because after closing, you vanished. And then 6 months, maybe a year later, when their friend at work asks for a recommendation for a great agent, your name just doesn't pop into their head. It's a problem of memory, plain and simple. And that memory gap, it has a very real, measurable cost. Let's dig into exactly why letting a perfectly happy client forget about you is one of the single most expensive mistakes you can possibly make in this business. The difference in the quality of the lead is just staggering. A referral lead, one that comes from a past client, closes at a rate 3.5 times higher than some cold lead you'd buy online. 3.5 times! I mean, they are without question the highest value, most efficient leads you can ever get. You know, this really says it all. You can spend thousands on ads on all these lead gen services, but absolutely nothing, and I mean nothing, beats the ROI of a warm introduction from someone who already knows you, likes you, and trusts you. Okay, so how do we fix this? How do we actually bridge that memory gap and make sure we stay top of mind? Well, it turns out there's this very specific, time-sensitive period where all the magic really happens. We call it the 90-day golden window. Let's just walk through this for a second. Day 0, that's closing day. High fives, keys, everyone's thrilled. Now, the super important part is between 30 and 90 days right after that. This is your critical window. It's when you have to reinforce that relationship while the experience is still fresh in their mind. If you wait too long, well, by month 6, the data shows that referral potential just drops off a cliff. They've moved on, and you've been forgotten. Okay, so now we know when to reach out. But what do we actually say? Because believe me, sending the wrong kind of message can be almost as damaging as sending nothing at all. You could actually break the trust you worked so hard to build. Just think about the messages you're sending. On one side, you've got that generic email blast, right? Here's a market update. It's impersonal, it's really about you, and it gets deleted almost instantly. But on the other side, you have a personal check-in. It uses their name, it references their specific house, and it feels like a real human conversation. Which one do you think is actually building a relationship? The big takeaway here is that good follow-up, the kind that works, is personal, and it's relevant to them, not you. It proves you remember the details, the little things that matter. And maybe most importantly, it's not a sales pitch. You're not asking for a referral. You're not asking for anything. You are simply keeping a human connection alive, and that is the foundation for all your future business. So when you start doing this, and you do it consistently, you create something incredibly powerful. It's a self-sustaining engine for your business that we call the referral flywheel. And here is the payoff. Agents who actually build a simple system for this post-close communication, they generate, on average, a mind-blowing 40% of their entire annual business from referrals alone. Just think about that. Almost half their income is coming from this one simple, repeatable activity. We're not talking about getting lucky with a random referral once in a while. This is about creating a predictable, stable source of amazing leads that actually grows and compounds over time. See, each closed deal doesn't just end, it feeds the next one. That's the flywheel. Now, I know what you're thinking. This all sounds great in theory, but let's get real.
How in the world do you put this into practice when you're already juggling a dozen clients and just trying to keep your head above water?
Right? I mean, who has the time to remember the name of every client's dog, or the fact that they mentioned their sister might be thinking about selling next spring? This is the #1 thing that stops busy agents, and you know what? It's a totally fair point.
The solution is actually a system that boils down to just 2 simple steps. First, you've got to have a reliable way to keep the context of every relationship. And second, you need an easy way to use that context when you reach out.
A simple system can solve this whole problem. For instance, a tool like CMA Flow helps by keeping all the context from your past deals visible, right there in your workflow. This just means all those important details and little notes are in one place, not buried in old emails or some forgotten spreadsheet.
And then a system like that can help you take that saved context, the notes about their house on Elm Street or their sister who's selling in the spring, and use it to draft that perfect personal message in just a few seconds. It basically turns what you already know into effortless communication.
So I'll just leave you with this thought. What would it actually mean for your business if your next closing wasn't just an endpoint, but was the guaranteed starting point for your next amazing lead? That right there is the power of building a real referral pipeline.